Amy here with Blast Mobile Fitness. Thank you for liking us and for following our BMF revolution.
Hey y'all, it's Kelly. We have a great overloading workout for you for guns and guts. This week you're doing volume training. You guys are going to be doing a 10 by 10 every minute on the minute. Go for it, Ayo.
All right, so if you've followed other upper body workouts with us, then we have a pretty standard upper body warm-up, if you will. There is an upper body warm-up listed at the very end of this video that you can reference to make sure that you hit everything. But most importantly, you want to definitely roll and warm up and stretch before you do any kind of workouts in general. But let's get going. So for this week, we have a 10 by 10. So if you've done our other butts and guts workout this week, which is also a 10 by 10, you kind of understand the concept behind that. But if you want to go over the aspect of, all you really need is a timer. So you're going to set it up for 10 full rounds and every minute on the minute. So at the very beginning of that minute starting, you'll hit the 10 reps, you'll rest. So if you get done before the 60 seconds is up, just consider that rest. I'll warn you right now, rounds 1 through 4 will be relatively pretty. Rounds 5 through 10, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna say some cuss words, but just know that your fellow blasters are doing the work with you and your coaches as well. So just think of us in your head and in your heart and pump it out for sure. So without further ado, let me go over the movements for round 1. You are going to do barbell tricep skull crushers. So if you have a bench, you can absolutely do that on the bench, but you can also do it on the floor as well. Remember, when you are laying down for any kind of barbell work with that bar over, you want to make sure that lower back is kissed to either the mat itself or to the bench as well. We want to protect that lower back. So let me just show you what that looks like and kind of options for making sure that that lower back is directly into that mat or into that bench. So you can flatten your feet out here. You can also tuck your hips up as well. If you need to, you can bring your legs up here too. So letting gravity take place to neutralize that back. For me, because that bench is a little bit lower tonight, I can tuck the hips up, and because I have a great training partner, she's gonna actually bring the bar up to me tonight. But for the tricep skull crushers, you wanna make sure, again, lower back is kissed, check, and then you're gonna have that bar. That bar, you wanna make sure it's a narrow grip. So the shoulders are in line with the elbow, in line with the wrist, and your fists are facing the ceiling. Now, as you take that bar to your forehead, your elbows are at 90. You're gonna draw it right above, and you're gonna press it to the ceiling. So it's one after the other. Inhaling down, exhaling as you press up. But you wanna make sure those elbows stay in. Make sure you don't flare the elbows out. You really wanna isolate the triceps as you come down and as you rise.
Make sure that you don't hinge at the shoulder at all. So the bar doesn't move this way ever. You keep from the shoulder to the elbow is completely straight and neutral, and it stays still. The only thing that moves is her elbows bend, and she brings it all the way down to her forehead and up. You can bet that you're gonna feel this. When you do these 10 by 10s, you wanna make sure you're doing them one after the next. If you go slow on these, the time under tension will kill you. You more than likely will fail before you hit 10 if you do that. So really try to get them pumped out. I'd never ever advocate to go so fast that you lose your form. Speed is always secondary. Make sure you get the proper form first and get through those 10. If you happen to fail, with the upper body work, there is a good possibility that you will fail before you get to 10. If you happen to fail, your set for that round is over. Just wait, let yourself rest, and then come back in and try to get 10 the next time around.
Awesome, so once round 1 is done, you'll move on to round 2. You'll grab your set of dumbbells for bent arm lateral raise. So in that movement, elbows start towards your rib cage. You will simply lift and lower. Notice I'm not flying the elbows up. They are parallel to the floor and down. So all the way up and down. So you'll do a total of 10. And remember, after the 10 reps are up, you will just put the dumbbells down, you will rest, and then you will go again for round 2.
Now, if you happen to have only a set of heavy dumbbells and doing both of them together is too much, you can always alternate and end up doing 5 on the right and 5 on the left to make your 10. Good, good.
Good. Round 3, we will move back to the barbell for biceps row.
Here, friend, let me give you your barbell.
This is great, right? We like all classes are like this. All right, so for the biceps row, underhand grip, hands are right outside of the hips here too. Now, depending upon how you like the grip itself, you can go a little bit wider if you would like, or you can go a little bit more narrow too. It just really depends on what your comfort level is. But where you want to start is your feet are in line with the hips, your shoulders are down and back. We're assuming that bent over position, so you want to make sure that that upper back stays nice and flat. Your knees are soft. You're going to glide that bar down your quads, so keeping it nice and close. You're down, and you're going to drive that bar underneath your bra line and pressing it down. So pulling up and pressing down. I will show you a side view here shortly, but when you rise, you want to make sure that upper back still stays flat. So you squeeze through the glutes, through those heels as you rise. Super important that you are protected in that movement. So from the side here, again, releasing those shoulders down and back, bar glides, and then you rise that bar all the way up
now
and down.
Interrupt here for one quick second. I want to remind you, sometimes we see this happening. And you want to look at yourself in the mirror, or you want to talk to your workout partner. I hate this. I don't want the neck cranked. Let's keep the neck neutral. Look at the floor.
And notice
you can look up after you're done with your 10.
Yes, and keeping the elbows in towards that rib cage as you drive the elbows up to the ceiling and down. So just pointing out my upper back here.
Yeah, you get a little upper back, but this is really going to burn up the biceps.
It will. And then as you rise again, rising, resting, and then when you place that bar down as well, important you don't round the back, keep it neutral, and bring it down.
And Megan, let me point out, like, she has such a great range of motion there. I advocate for you to be as bent over as you can. You might feel this a little bit in your hamstrings and perhaps in your lower back because you are having to stabilize the bent over position. So if it bothers you, you can come up just a little bit, or you can just rest and stretch your back during your rest time.
Absolutely. Good point.
Good.
All right. Round number 4.
Yes.
We are back to the dumbbells for a dumbbell triangle overhead press. So think about the shape of the triangle, and that is the shape you will execute. So arms are at 90. They do not fall. So pretend like you have an imaginary table under both arms, supporting your elbows.
This is the triangle base, right? The triangle base.
Right. So from here, you're going to press the dumbbells straight up, and you'll bring the ends of the dumbbells together over your head. And then you'll come down. You'll press, and you'll come down.
Now
Notice,
I like to push them together up here at the top and give them a little squeeze.
so getting that full range of motion. So again, not letting them drop, keeping them raised, keeping them elevated. Exhaling big as you press overhead. And same thing like you did with the dumbbell, the lateral raises, you can absolutely press one if you have only a heavy set of dumbbells here. But if you would like, you can always consider grabbing things that you have around the house that are of equal weight, perhaps some cans, some bags of beans, something that you can grip to simply still use this movement, right?
Now let's tell them, like, if you guys wanted to draw this workout out a little bit and you wanted to use the time on your hands to make this a heavyweight, progressively overloaded volume training workout, here's what you would do. You would get rid of them every minute on the minute, and you would rest between 60 and 90 seconds between each set. So let's just hypothetically say AO only had 25s at home and she just wanted to use her 25s. She wanted to go heavy today. She could just do this exact workout and not set the timer for every minute on the minute. Remember that when we reduce your rest, it is going to overload that group of muscles so much more because you have very little rest and recovery time to make the energy that your muscles need to work. So if she wanted to do that heavy, you absolutely could. I would just nix the every minute on the minute and then slide in about 60 to 90 seconds of rest between each set of 10.
Awesome. And then for round 5, we have plank to the knee, to the elbow. So elbow crunch. So with that, you're going to assume the full plank position here. So making sure that that wrist is in line with the elbow, in line with the shoulder. And going back to that concept of not lifting your head. Everything is in alignment from that ear to the hip, to the ankle as well. But you're going to draw the knee into the elbow. So drawing it in and pressing it out. If you need to drop it every single time, you may. But if you want to elevate it a little bit more, you're drawing it here and keeping it lifted through the movement. Notice there's a slight kind of rock in my body to allow that knee to hit the elbow. You're going to do 5 on the right and then 5 on the left. Now, if having your hands on the floor is too much, you can absolutely go back to your bench and use that as an elevated surface. So you can use this with a chair or anything that you feel and or find that's more comfortable for you. But you would simply go back to that plank position and come here and draw back.
Absolutely. And for those of you that always love a good amplification of a movement, you can do a crossover knee to elbow, or you can do a hover knee through the elbows, which would absolutely amplify this, this movement. So if you want to do a little bit harder core work, you could. That's it.
I think that's it.
That's it.
So as I said in the beginning, the warm-up will be on the end of the video for your viewing pleasure.
It's also on the graphic too, you guys. So if you wanted to just print this off, you could. Those of you watching us on YouTube, it'll be at the end of the video.
Yep. But other than that, thank you for watching our video today. Hope you enjoy the workout. As always, thank you for following us on YouTube as well. But like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram,
and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You probably already did that.
But stay safe, stay healthy, and
stay home,
stay home,
and stay blasty.
Absolutely.
Peace out, you guys.
Bye.